Have you ever wondered what happens when the people sworn to protect us are faced with a system so corrupt that a badge and uniform are powerless? What if the only way to get justice was to shed the uniform, live among the forgotten, and become one of them? This is the incredible true story of SSP Ariba Khan, a police officer who dared to go undercover as a destitute laborer named Ani to dismantle a criminal empire from the inside out. It all began with a single piece of paper, desperate, anonymous letter from the laborers of Baipora village. They were starving, unpaid, for months of backbreaking work and terrified of the powerful men who controlled their lives. Ariba Khan knew that a standard police investigation would be a dead end. The powerful would be tipped off, evidence would vanish, and the victims would be too scared to talk. So she made a choice that would change everything. She decided to disappear. SSP Ariba Khan was gone, and in her place was Ani, a woman with nothing but tattered clothes and a will to survive. Imagine a high-ranking police officer used to giving commands, now taking them. Ani lived in a cramped shack, her stomach aching with the same hunger as the other laborers. She worked side by side with them in the scorching sun, feeling the grit of the earth under her nails and the exhaustion in her bones. She wasn't just acting, she was living their reality. It was through this shared hardship that she earned something more valuable than any evidence: trust. Women like Rubina and Camilla, who once feared everyone, began to see Ani as a sister, confiding in her, sharing their stories of exploitation at the hands of the local strongman, Chairman Harun Malik. The first crack in the corrupt dam came when Ani decided she'd seen enough. During a public gathering, she stepped forward, her voice shaking not with fear but with righteous anger. She confronted Chairman Harun Malik directly, demanding the wages he owed the workers. Malik, amused by this lone defiant woman, laughed and unleashed his thugs. But he had made a catastrophic mistake. As his men moved to attack, Ani fought back not just as a laborer, but as a trained officer, defending the women who had trusted her. In that stunning moment of chaos, she dropped the disguise. "I am Ariba Khan SSP," she declared, her voice ringing with authority. The shock on Malik's face was absolute as she ordered his immediate arrest. For a moment, it felt like a complete victory. The laborers were finally paid, and a tyrant was behind bars. But the celebration was short-lived. Chairman Malik was quickly out on bail, a clear sign that his influence ran much deeper than the local police station. Ariba realized this wasn't just about one corrupt official. It was a web. Malik was merely a puppet, and the strings were being pulled by far more powerful figures, including a member of parliament named Riyad Chowdhury. The fight had just gotten bigger and far more dangerous. Just as Ariba was planning her next move, tragedy struck. In the nearby village of Sohampa, a wave of death swept through the community. 8 people died, and dozens more were hospitalized after drinking cheap, illicit liquor. It was a mass poisoning. Ariba connected the dots. The same network exploiting laborers was also peddling this poison to them. The toxic alcohol wasn't just a side hustle. It was a weapon of control, keeping the poor indebted and too sick to fight back. This horrific event solidified her resolve. This wasn't just about unpaid wages anymore. It was about saving lives. She vowed to rip out this entire network, root and stem. To get closer to the source, Ariba needed a new disguise, a new front. She set up a small roadside eatery, a dobber, right in the heart of the territory controlled by the network. She became Anissa, the friendly dobber owner. But this was no ordinary eatery. It was a sophisticated intelligence-gathering operation, wired with hidden cameras and microphones. Day after day, she served tea and food to the very people she was investigating. Listening to their conversations, piecing together the supply chain. Her surveillance pointed to a brutal enforcer named Thanga and confirmed that the entire operation was masterminded by MP Riyad Chowdhury. The final piece of the puzzle fell into place when she discovered the location of their production facility, an abandoned sugar mill where they were mixing industrial chemicals into their deadly brew. With all the evidence she needed, Ariba planned the final takedown. Under the cover of pre-dawn darkness, a heavily armed police team, led by Ariba herself, raided the old sugar mill. It was exactly as she'd predicted. They found massive drums filled with the toxic liquor, ready for distribution. The arrests came swiftly. Haroon Malik Thanga and, most shockingly, MP Riyad Chowdhury were all taken into custody. It was a massive blow against a deeply entrenched criminal enterprise, a victory for the people that sent shockwaves through the political establishment. The story of Ariba Khan as Ani is a powerful reminder that true justice requires more than just laws and procedures. It requires courage, empathy, and a willingness to walk in the shoes of the oppressed. While this one battle was won, Ariba knew the war against systemic corruption was far from over. But she had shown what was possible when one person dared to stand up, not just as an officer, but as a human being. Thank you so much for watching. If this story moved you, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more incredible stories of courage and justice. We'll see you in the next one. Have you ever wondered what it takes to bring down a truly corrupt system? Not with guns blazing, but from the inside, by living the very life of the people being crushed by it. This is the incredible true story of SSP Ariba Khan, a high-ranking police officer who became Ani, a destitute laborer, to dismantle a network of power, greed, and death. It all started with a single, desperate plea. An anonymous letter arrived on SSP Khan's desk from the village of Baipura. It spoke of laborers being worked to the bone, their wages stolen, their families starving. The letter was trembling with fear, and Ariba knew immediately that a standard police investigation would be useless. The culprits would see them coming a mile away, witnesses would be silenced, and the evidence would vanish. To catch a rat, you have to think like a rat, or in this case, To help the powerless, she had to become one of them. She needed to go undercover. This wasn't your typical undercover operation. Ariba Khan shed her crisp uniform and a life of authority. She put on tattered clothes, smeared dirt on her face, and walked into the heart of Baipura as Ani, just another desperate woman looking for work. She wasn't just playing a role, she was living it. She felt the gnawing hunger, the back-breaking toil under a relentless sun, and the crushing despair of working for nothing. Day by day, digging ditches and hauling bricks, she earned not just her place among the workers, but something far more valuable: their trust. Women like Rabina and Camilla, initially wary, began to share their stories, their fears, and their pain with her. They saw in Ani a reflection of their own struggle, never suspecting she was the very person with the power to end it. The simmering anger in the village was about to boil over, and Ani was ready to light the fuse. At a public gathering, she stepped forward, her voice ringing with a strength that surprised everyone, including the man,